Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is my review for the season of Younger, because I did review the pilot and I continued watching the show and I figured I would review the rest of the season for you. And since the season finale just aired, I figured I should review the season. So let's talk about Younger. First of all, if you guys haven't seen my review of the pilot, it is in this playlist. I'll definitely put it in. Definitely check it out. I reviewed it back in I think like February. I think I reviewed it in. It was a while ago, definitely. But Younger. I remember when I first watched the show, and I thought that it was going to go downhill. And let me just say that this first season was fantastic. There was not a single bad episode in the bunch. There really wasn't. It did have maybe like one problem. Other than that, this was like Jane the Virgin. It was such a surprise to me. It shouldn't be this good, but it's amazing. And I loved everything about this show, and I'll talk about why I love the show as much as I did. I think the storylines were great. And there's not a lot to talk about really because there is a lot that happened this season, but there weren't like any major cliffhangers like in the season finale or anything. So I definitely am going to talk about where I think we're heading next season, which which really isn't that big of a deal, but I'll talk about why I love this show as much as I do, and definitely we'll get to that. But let me first say right off the bat that, as I said, I love this first season. I think this show is fantastic, and I definitely really enjoyed that. And something I really want to point out is the cast. The cast got better and better as the episodes went on. Especially Sun Foster. I think Sun Foster, the more the show went on, the more dialogue, I think she probably just improv. I'm pretty sure a lot of it was ad-libbed. To me, it seemed ad-libbed at least. You know, really had that quirky Sun Foster humor that we all know and love. It really had that, and I think Sun Foster, this is really her return to TV. I mean, Bunheads really wasn't as successful as it should have been, and I really think this show is going to be what it needs to be, and I'm very happy that it was as successful as it was. So let's talk about our biggest storyline here, of course. Liza hiding her secret, which I was definitely interested in seeing how this was going to be. For a while, I thought this was just going to be a show where it's just like just a procedural show where there's a different thing that they do in the company every episode. That's what I thought it was really going to be. There was some different you know some different thing that they do at the publishing firm, something else they publish every episode, which it essentially was, but there were a lot of other things thrown in there, particularly her relationship with Josh and how this affects everyone around her. Of course, Liza is pretending to be 26 when she's really 40, and this really becomes very complicated for a lot of people around her. Josh and her actually get really close, especially, her and Josh, and I really love seeing her and Josh's relationship evolve. He really brought out this fun, carefree side in her, which I really love seeing, because before we saw Liza, she really was sort of like, I wouldn't say she was, like, strict, but she definitely was not as fun as Josh, and I think Josh made her a lot more fun than she was. I definitely really loved seeing that, and I thought that was really good. We did see how this affected the relationships around her. In fact, there's a great episode where Liza starts to hang out with Kelsey's friends and starts to talk like a 26-year-old, and it actually makes Maggie kind of offended because she actually kind of forgets about Maggie. And I thought that was really good what they did with Maggie's character. Something I love about Maggie's character, that she actually had a lot of stuff to do in the show than I thought she would. I thought she was just going to be the friend to talk to every now and again. But no, she had a lot more to do here. I mean, she had some legit storylines. We had some great storylines with Liza and Maggie's friendship, and how I loved Maggie telling Liza, how this would affect her and if this was the right thing to do. And I definitely really loved that. One of my favorite parts of the show, honestly, would be their conversations. I think, honestly, they got better and better as they went on. I really loved that, I have to say. I thought that was really good. And, yeah, so I really love that as well. I thought that was great, the way they handled it. Also, Maggie's storyline being a lesbian, it didn't feel too cliche to me. As I said, we were eventually going to find out more about her, and I don't think we knew she was a lesbian until later in the show. And when eventually we did find this out, what's actually really funny is that one of Liza's friends actually ends up getting a crush on Maggie, and they might start a little relationship, which I definitely think is kind of cute that they're starting a relationship. So I'll have to see what happens there if they do actually start this relationship, which would be really funny if they did. I'd like to see if that actually does come to form, because that could be really fun if they do that. But we'll have to see what happens there. And I definitely thought that was one of my favorite parts of the show by far, was what they did with Maggie's character. So back to Liza and Josh. Of course, they're the central thing here of why Liza's keeping the secret, and it gets bigger and bigger as it goes on. I mean, there's a great episode where he brings out this kid in her. There's a great episode where she even thinks maybe he's stupid. I thought that was really funny. But eventually she realizes she's getting very close with him. She pretty much has to tell him what's going on because he starts to be very honest with her. He starts to reveal things to her. Like we find out he is really into country music, and he even plays a washboard, which I thought was really fun. Seeing those scenes of him in the band was a lot of fun to watch. He has this other girl that at first Liza thinks he's with, but is actually just has a crush on him, and she's one of his ex-girlfriends, which I thought was kind of funny. We see that he has this group of friends, and the closer they get, Liza just has to reveal to him. So one day, her friend is having this hot mitzvah, basically, which is, I thought that was kind of funny with the hot mitzvah. But right on the cup, she does reveal to Josh that she is 40, and that's basically how the episode ends. So now I'm going to reveal what happened in the season finale. If you guys have not seen season finale, it's not that major of a spoiler, but it definitely is the biggest thing that happened in the episode by far, so we're going to get to that. So of course, with Josh, I like the way Josh reacted. I like that Josh was pissed at her. He had a right to be pissed at her. I like that he said, I want you to get out of my life, and I never want to see you again. I can understand why he said that. I mean, he feels like he's been played this whole time. He, pretty much has got this very strong connection to who he thought was a 26-year-old. In fact, the second he saw her, if you remember, that's how she started the whole thing. He's what got her to start it, is because he made her think she looked like she was 26 and that she could pass off as 26. And now he knows that he obviously feels betrayed. But I love that, what she decided to do, because she realizes that she didn't really tell him everything. So she decides to, basically send him this text, and sends him all these, sends him basically these, this DVD basically, and it has everything on it that he needs as all the proof. And I love seeing his reaction, because he does know that Liza is the woman that he thought she was, and I thought that was really great. But I love that they decide, what, let's not, be together. Let's start over. We don't necessarily have to be together. We're just gonna be friends, and we're gonna see where it goes. And I'm very interested in seeing what's gonna happen there. I do think eventually they're gonna be together, because I really do like Josh as a character, and I like their relationship. But I think right now it is good for them to take things slow, and I like they decided to do that. I thought that was definitely something I really enjoyed watching. I really liked that overall. So. And then, of course, we do find out that Caitlin's actually coming to town, is actually going to stay with Liza, so I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen there. I'm wondering how that's going to change things with Liza's secrets. Obviously, Caitlin doesn't know. I think Caitlin knows what Liza's doing. I'm pretty sure she told her, but I don't really remember if she... I think she knows what she's doing. I'm pretty sure she does, so we'll have to see how Caitlin reacts to this, because that could be very funny as well. Now, of course, the other big storyline we had was with Kelsey, who I did not think was going to have as much as she did. And what's something I like about Kelsey is that her storyline, in any other show, she'd be this annoying, bitchy character. But here, this is younger, which is actually very realistic, and I really love her storyline. She, of course, is with Thad. That is her boyfriend, of course. But she actually gets very close with Anton, who is... one of the, someone who is there, and, he is basically, I believe, like an intern or something, but they end up getting very close. She actually has an affair with Anton, and the episode where his wife finds out was hilarious, because, of course, she thinks that it's Liza that he's flirting with, and, that he's cheating on her with, and I thought that was really funny. We can see that Anton, though, is not legit. He doesn't want to be boyfriend and girlfriend with Kelsey. He just wants to have sex with her and just be with her. That's all he wants. He doesn't really want a relationship with her. So Kelsey does drop it, which I like that she did drop it, because she did the right thing. Obviously, he wanted nothing to do with her. He just wanted to have sex with her. That's all he wanted. But then we find out that Thad actually cheated on Kelsey while Kelsey was cheating on Thad. And I thought that was actually very funny that they did that, especially because we didn't see Thad a lot this season. I wish we would have seen a little bit more of him, but that storyline very quickly ended, and I thought that was really good. And something else I thought was great about the show was the relationship between Liza and Kelsey. I thought that definitely was very strong. I was pretty sure Liza was going to reveal to Kelsey her secret this season, but I definitely feel like next season that's when she's going to reveal it to her. Let's talk about the show in general, because Diana also, I love Diana's character as well. I like that they tried to make her more and more funny as it went on. It definitely did work. Something I think worked very well with the show was the screenplay. The screenplay of the show is actually very realistic, and it feels real, and I like how real it feels. Nothing feels forced in this show. All the dialogue just felt like it was, real. It felt like that's what was meant to be said, and I really like seeing that. I never thought the show would be like that, but I like that the show really did that. That's something I definitely enjoyed seeing, and it always worked. It was always funny. The dramatic moments really worked very well, and especially for a TV Land show. TV Land does not really have a very good track record with TV shows. Some of them worked very well, Hot in Cleveland, and others are Soul Man and Happily Divorced and pretty much any other show that was on that's not The X's or Hot in Cleveland. I think this is the first show for TV Land that's not a sitcom that actually worked out very well for them, and I'm very happy it did because I was surprised it was as good as it was, but it really was very realistic, and it got a lot of people to watch TV Land, which I thought was really good the way they did that. And definitely the chemistry between all the actors were just great. I mean, Liza and Kelsey's friendship was always great. It was great to see Kelsey and Liza bonding. My only complaint with the season was the episode where Kelsey got drunk and they had a crazy party. I thought that episode was just kind of silly, but there's always going to be one episode, and when you have a comedy show, there's always going to be one episode that's just not that funny, and that was that episode. I did not think that episode was that funny. But I like the heart that this show has as well, because it really does show the consequence that this secret, the difficulties that her hiding her secret does have. And there are many times where you see Liza, and Kelsey reminds her that she is 26, and I thought that was really good that we saw that. And I definitely really like seeing their friendship play out throughout the season. And I like that it didn't get too intense for me. I was thinking that there was going to be this huge thing with, tons of intensity, but no, it stayed as a genuine friendship, and I love that. And Maggie as well, stayed as genuine friendship. Nothing got too crazy, and I like that it didn't, because in real life that's not what would happen. The show likes to play in a very realistic way, and I really like that the show plays as realistic as it does, because honestly, that's one of the best things about the show is how simplistic and real it is. It's a very simplistic show. Okay, there's not a lot that happens each episode, but that's because there's not a lot of there are only like 20 something minute episodes, and they went by so fast just because of how into it you were, and I really loved about the show as well. And I think they did a very good job with that. Definitely something I really enjoyed. Also, the ad campaigns were always great. I really enjoyed that. Kind of reminded me of Mad Men in a way. Like there's this great episode with Swedish Fish. Anton's rant on Swedish Fish. Oh my god, that was so funny when we saw that. I absolutely love that. And also what the show had to say about what the show had to say about the young people of today is great. I love what the show does with the young people, because it shows how young people are. I mean, yeah, we do use Twitter and things like that, and seeing Liza get used to that I thought was really funny. There's a great episode where Liza opens a Twitter account, and I thought that was really funny. And she starts Topless Tuesdays. I mean, the situation she got into, yes, they were ridiculous, but they were hilarious to watch. They never got too silly. The show never got too silly either. It never was this overlong joke, because the show cares a lot more about the story than it is about the jokes, which I really love. Because I'm not saying that it's, a great comedy needs to care more about the story, because a great comedy, yeah, you want to laugh, but this is a dramedy, so I like that they try to focus on the story, and I thought that was really good. There's also some great scenes where we see Liza meets up with, there's a great episode where we see Liza maybe getting together with this other guy that's actually the same exact age as her, and I like the complications that had as well. And there's also another really great episode where Liza goes back to this book club, and basically it's with her old friends who don't know that she's 26, and they pretty much think that she's a lesbian. I thought that was really funny. I definitely really enjoyed seeing that as well, and I love the complications that it had. And honestly, while as silly as it is, it honestly is very realistic. It really is. I mean, you see people in your life, and if you really were to do what Liza was doing, that's how it would affect, that's how it would be. And I thought that was really good the way the show played with that. I liked how realistic it was. I never expected the show to be that realistic, but when it was like, wow, the show's actually very realistic, and I was very happy with how realistic it got. So, overall, guys, I really love this first season. I thought it was fantastic. Definitely, I really have no problems with it. Honestly, it really was a great show. I was surprised by how much I really loved it. I'm very happy it got renewed for season 2. I did not think the show was going to get renewed. I really did not. I didn't. To be completely honest, I did not think the show was going to get renewed. The reason I think the show got renewed, not just because of Sutton Foster, but because of how great the characters work. And it's a very character-driven series, and also how the interactions between all of them are, and the reaction, things like that. Everything just works really great in this show. Everything works, really. There's nothing that's, like, doesn't work. Everything just worked, in my opinion. Even ridiculous things like an episode where she starts topless Tuesdays, and an episode that has to do with her losing her underwear. It just works, because it's funny, and I think it worked really well the way they did that. I definitely really enjoyed that. So overall, guys, I love the first season of Younger. I can't wait for a second season, which apparently is coming back in January, so we are going to get it earlier than I think, which is cool. I like they didn't leave us on a big cliffhanger, because a lot of shows do that, but this wasn't a show that really needed to do that, and I like that they just showed, you know what, Josh and Liza, they're going to move on. They're going to probably still be friends. They're eventually going to get together. We'll see what happens between them. And now Caitlin's coming back, so she's going to be with Liza next season. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen there. I definitely feel like things are going to get more complicated between Liza and Kelsey. I mean, there's so many times this season where it seemed like Liza was going to tell Kelsey, but no, she didn't. And I like that she didn't. But I definitely feel like things are going to get more complicated. And I think this show is going to get more complicated as it goes on, but it's going to stay simplistic. Hopefully it stays as simplistic as it was, because that's one of the things that made the show so good. But that's basically my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys saw this first season. Did you have any complaints with it? Are you looking forward to second season? I sure as hell am. I can't wait for it. And I will see you guys in my next, which will be my review for Finding Carter, which, yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm really not. I don't think this episode's going to be good. If this episode's not good, by the way, guys, I watched this over Finding Carter. That's how much I can't stand Finding Carter. Seriously, I watched Younger, a show that you don't even need to watch live, over Finding Carter. That's how much I can't stand it. But if this next episode is not good, I'm going to be done with the show. I really am, because this is the penultimate episode, and if there's not something huge that happens and something that actually makes me want to come back next week and makes me genuinely love the show again, I'm probably just going to call it quits, honestly. I probably am, but that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoy it. I will see you guys next week, which will be for Finding Carter. It might be a rant, might be a review. I really don't know. I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.